بسم الله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah, we seek His aid and His forgiveness, we seek refuge in Allah from the evils of ourselves, from the harm of our own wrongdoing. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can lead astray. Whomsoever He leads astray, no one can guide. And I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, who is one without any partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and messenger. O you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except as a Muslim. So alhamdulillah, Allah enjoins upon us, brothers and sisters, to always have the consciousness of Allah, always be mindful of Allah. It's the most important thing in our lives, because again, it determines our relationship with Allah. One is actually honored and raised in the sight of Allah due to his or her Allah consciousness. How much you are conscious of Allah, how much you are mindful of His commandments, what He has commanded upon you, and how much you are mindful of the things that He has prohibited, that you make effort to stay away from. And so again, Allah says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. That the most honorable you in the sight of Allah is the one who has taqwa. And so we always begin with this in Juma, or we always mention this in the Juma gathering, prayer. Because again, we need to be reminded of this constantly. Something that we constantly need to cultivate and nurture. It's a part of Iman, part of our faith, which inshallah, which will lead me into my talk today. We want to talk about the power of faith. Faith. Because the power of faith or the strength of one's faith is important. Several weeks ago I talked about, the hadith. We mentioned the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said the strong believer is more beloved to Allah than the weak believer. And in both there's good. See? The strong believers. Strong believers. So inshallah I want to revisit that. Go into a little bit more detail. All right? We need to constantly hear this, It's like the Quran constantly repeats itself. It's teaching to impress upon us, to put it in our minds and to put it in our hearts, the truth of what Allah has revealed and what He's telling us and what He's exhorting us to do as believers. You see? So we want to talk about the power of faith and the strengthening of faith. Everyone needs some kind of support in their lives to help them from day to day. And that's where faith comes in the power of faith. It's your faith in Allah, your belief in Allah, and the strength of that helps you get through. See? And especially in difficult times that we're living in, times when the Prophet ﷺ prophesies, it's going to be difficult. So we have to be reminded. Somebody got a radio on or something? Okay, okay. So again, we're living in those times. And the Prophet ﷺ spoke about the times after him. And each time that seems to be bad or difficult, the Prophet ﷺ said, that the time after that will be worse. So it's been going on like that. And even though the Quran and the Prophet also taught us, with every difficulty there is relief. There's some ease. Okay? So it's up, it's down. Up and down. We get relief. But the times are always challenging, you see? And each time of difficulty, even though there's some relief from it, yes. But another time is going to come where it's going to be worse until the day of judgment. Until the day of judgment. So it takes, so how do we get through all of those kinds of things? Even in our personal lives. The changes that we go through in our personal lives. If the faith is not strong, you see, we don't have the power of faith, you see, then we'll fall. We'll succumb to the temptations. We'll succumb to the apathy, if you will. I was speaking earlier to one of the brothers about, since the shutdown of the mosques because of the corona crisis, people have stayed, people couldn't come to the mosque. And that was hard for a lot of, it's hard for any believer. Because coming to the mosque and being connected to the mosque is part of faith. Part of faith builds your faith. Being able to be at the mosque or come to the mosque. You can say what you want to say. Well, the whole earth is a mosque. Hey, that's all right too. But the prophet built a mosque. And he told the believers to come to the mosque. And he said, and the hypocrites are those who don't come to the mosque. See? The hardest prayer on the hypocrite is Fajr and Isha in Juma at the mosque. And the Prophet ﷺ said, you understand that one of the 7 people that will be under the shade of Allah Ta'ala on the day of judgment is a person who loved being at the mosque. See? So much so that when he makes his prayer, he cannot wait to get back for the next prayer. He loves the mosque. And Allah says in the Quran that it is those who believe in Allah, those who have Iman in Allah, and the last day, they're the ones that frequent the mosques and maintain the mosques. See? So it's been 4 or 5 months that some people haven't been to the mosque. But now the mosques are opening up again. And some people, it's hard to get back. It's hard to get back. Some people, they're not anxious. SubhanAllah. The Iman. Iman. Faith. You see, they can still come, just like you here. You're anxious to be at the mosque. Alhamdulillah. And I've seen people, express, alhamdulillah, they come to the mosque. The mosque is open. Oh, I missed the mosque. You can see, you can tell, alhamdulillah. See? That's a sign of faith. That's a sign of faith. But I'm telling you, brothers, there's some people, they can't get back here. They're being away, they're being disconnected. You see? You can see it. It affects people. So again, going back to the point, Iman, 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 the power of faith in the time that we're living in. And the time that will come after the time that we're dealing with now. You see? So these last few months has been the corona, right? And a number of other issues in the society. You see, but there'll be other things that will come where we have to keep moving forward. You see? So, subhanAllah. So how do we, alhamdulillah, how do we get this strength of Iman? How do we power up? How do we power up our faith? So I have just 6 items I want to go through with you. I've talked about them before, and each one is a khutbah or lecture by itself. But I will just mention them briefly. For us, for all of us, just to reflect upon and try to internalize. Because, brothers and sisters, it is about growth. It is about growth and growing, in our attachment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is about being better than what we are. You see, it's not about just standing still. It's about growth. We're on a journey. We're on a journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how do we grow in our iman? How do we power up on that faith, man? And all of you, alhamdulillah, you have families, or many of you have families, and those who don't will have families. And you will have children. You see? So you have the responsibility of powering up your iman, strengthening your iman. So, and you have, so therefore, you have to help them power up on their iman. You see? So if yours is weak, and you're not up on it, and you don't know what to do and how to get that, or how to instruct them what they need to do, then how are they going to deal? And the generations that come after that. So the first thing I wanted to just mention to you, how we power up on our iman. SubhanAllah. How we gain the power of faith, or make that faith strong. It comes, the first and most important thing, Allah said, Fa'lam la ilaha illallah. Fa'lam la ilaha illallah. Know that there is no deity to be worshipped except Allah. That's where it starts. Oh, you who believe. Allah commands, Fa'lam. No, do you know? Do you know your Lord? Do you know Allah? That's how you power up on your faith. Knowing Allah, not just say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah, on your lips, right? Allah wants you to know Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created I have only created the jinn and mankind that they do ibadah to me, worship me. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, he said, this ibadah is to know Allah. To know Allah. And the more you know Allah, the more you love Allah. And the more you love Allah, Allah loves you. That's how you build the faith, knowing your Lord. How many of us think about that? And I want to remind you today, build on your relationship with Allah Ta'ala. That's what is going to help you, get through all that you got to get through. You know Allah. And know that Allah has revealed in the Quran and in the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah about Himself. So you're not at a loss. You're not like disbelievers and non-believers or Christians or Jews or whatever. People, they be confused about Allah. Who the Creator? They think the Creator is a man. They think the Creator has a color. Some people think the Almighty, the Creator, God Almighty is the moon or the sun, and idols and other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed the Ummah. In fact, He has blessed man. He has favored mankind with His revelation. It's why it's our responsibility to share that revelation of Quran, with the people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks in the Quran, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Allah is revealing something to you and me about Himself. I want you to reflect upon that. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. The most merciful and the merciful giver. Allah is merciful. He don't keep the mercy to Himself. He distributes it. And the Prophet ﷺ said Allah's mercy is 100 parts. 100 parts. One part of Allah's mercy, we see it in all of creation. Our existence and everything that Allah has blessed mankind with, everything we see and know, all of the good we see, even the animals who lift their hoofs so that they won't smother their babies. That is part of that mercy of Allah. That's 1%. That's here. And then the Prophet said, and he said, and 99 parts of the mercy, 99, is for the akhirah. And that 99% of Allah's rahmah is just for the believers. Nobody else. That's powerful. Think about that. No one is going to benefit from the 99, parts of Allah's mercy, but the believers. We believe that. The message of Allah taught us. So when we recite Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, the most merciful and the merciful giver, keep that in mind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that His mercy outweighs His anger. Outweighs it takes precedent over his wrath. See? So Allah, yes, absolutely merciful. This is knowing Allah. See? Know that there is no God. So get to know Allah. That builds your faith, brothers and sisters. You see? Allah, El-Hayy, El-Qayyum. El-Hayy, El-Qayyum. Allah is alive. He's a living God. He's alive. El-Qayyum. Self-subsisting. He exists by himself. He don't need nothing. Just like Allah says, As-Samad, right? As-Samad. And we recite that in Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Allahu Samad. Allahu Samad. Allah is one and Allah As-Samad. Allah depends on nothing. And everything depends on Him. Who's like that but Allah? What creation, what creature, what tangible, in physical, in existence that we know of sustains itself, exists by itself? None. So no one is like that but Allah. Everything depends on Him, and He depends on none. See? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about, again, He is Al-Hayy, Al-Qayyum. He's telling you something about Himself. Okay? MashaAllah. He's living. He subsists by Himself. That's unique. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He is Al-Alim, Al-Khabir, Al-Hakim. Allah knows all. Allah is aware of all. And Allah is wise. He knows everything. He's aware of everything. Your thoughts and whatever you go through in your life, it doesn't matter. Allah knows. He's aware. He's aware of what your needs are, what your problems are. Allah knows. We say it all the time. But do we really believe it? And Allah is wise. And how He does things. Everything falls in its proper place. When He commands, it's based upon what He knows to be best for you and me. And Allah is As-Sami. He hears. And Basir. And He sees. See? Reflect. I want you to reflect. We talk about the power of faith and building up. You got to know Allah. Know your Lord. He has described Himself in the Quran because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want us to be lost. To be ignorant of who He is. Be ignorant of who you're worshiping. Who you're standing before 5 times a day and beyond. So He hears. He hears you crying. He hears what's in your heart. He hears you. He sees you calling on Him. He sees you. SubhanAllah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Kareem. He's kind. You know? Allah is kind. Allah is really kind. And Allah is Ar-Ra'uf. Another level of kindness. And Allah is Al-Wahhab. Because of his kindness, Al-Wahhab. He's the bestower. See? You know? And he's Al-Jawab. He's the bestower of good. Not only does he bestow, but he bestows good. Al-Jawab. And Allah says, and Allah is Al-Ghani. Allah is rich. And Allah is Al-Mughni. The enricher. He gives. Allah don't hold it. Allah owns it all. So Allah is the richest. Al-Ghani. Al-Mughni. And he enriches you. Those who are powerful, those who are rich and wealthy. Allah give it to them. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be grateful when he gives it. And that's why he gives us an example in the Quran about a wealthy, rich person who's ungrateful and thinks that his wealth is because of his own intelligence or because of his business savvy, like Qarun. You know, Qarun was one of the people of Musa, among the Bani Israel. And he had so much wealth that he just flaunt it. Yeah, look what I did, this is what I got. And he was arrogant and he wouldn't give. Just, keep it in mind that Allah gave him. And so he should be mindful. Allah give me, so let me give them. So he was stingy and proud of what he thought he did, not realizing, again, him being ignorant that, Allah is Al-Ghani. And Allah is Al-Mughni. SubhanAllah. So Allah called the earth to swallow him up. Punished him. Open him up. One of the lessons in that for us is that we should not be stingy with if Allah has enriched you and recognize that Allah has enriched you. And Allah is Al-Qawi, Allah is strong. And Allah is Al-Mateen, Allah is powerful. Allah is strong. The power with Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ash-Shakur. Ash-Shakur, Allah is thankful. Wow. And he tells us to be thankful. And he does not like those who are unthankful and those who are ungrateful. And Allah don't have to be, but Allah is a shakur. Allah appreciates you. When you worship Allah, when you obey Allah, when you follow the guidance of Allah, Allah appreciates that. When you do good, think about it, Allah appreciates you. You know how you feel when you do something for somebody and they say, thank you, Aki. Thank you, sister. Shukran, jazakallah. You feel good when someone appreciates what you've done for them. And how do you feel when someone don't show any appreciation? You have a little attitude. They're so ungrateful. But Allah Almighty, Ashakur, Allah appreciates you. Allah is not ungrateful. So all sorts of thankfulness come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Reflect, my brother. Allah is Ar-Razaq. Ar-Razaq. He provides. You're worried about your money. You're worried about the job and how you're going to look at these people. We got to open up. We got to get the economy going. Allah's in charge. Allah is. Allah takes care. Allah provides. He gives us the sustenance, And Allah is Al-Muti. He's the giver. He provides and he's the giver. And he's thankful. And Allah is Al-Qareeb. He's close. He's close. As Allah said, he's closer to you and me, than our jugular vein. Not in terms of touching in place, because Allah is above his throne. We can't even comprehend that. But Allah is near. Al-Qareeb. So if he's close, he knows. Al-Qareeb. And so when you call on him, alhamdulillah, he answers. Al-Mujib. He answers, because he's not so far that he can't hit. No. We already mentioned how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Sami. So Allah is close, closer than you think, and Allah answers prayer. And Allah is Al-Bari. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Khaliq, the creator. Allah is, the creator and Al-Bari. Al-Bari, the originator. the originator. And Allah is al-Musawwir, the fashioner, the designer. Think about it, reflect. Al-Musawwir. MashaAllah. So we always mention Allah is the creator, Allah is the creator. Alhamdulillah. Al-Musawwir. He created you and he made you beautiful. See? Al-Musawwir. He fashioned and designed you in a beautiful way. We were talking about the Prophet Yusuf last week. SubhanAllah, and our doubts. And the Prophet said, according to narration by Imam Tabari, that Yusuf, the Prophet said that Yusuf and his mother has been given half of the beauty of the world. Beauty or prettiness. Because Yusuf was beautiful. A beautiful human being. But Allah is the Al-Musawwir. Allah designed it that way. Made him beautiful. Made him attractive to the women. They couldn't help themselves. And we learned he had such beauty. They couldn't, oh man. He had to end up going to prison. Because women in the society, they was all upset. That everybody wanted him. He was so beautiful. But reflect upon yourself. Allah made you the way you are. Allah made you black and beautiful. Made you brown, or he made you white, and whatever color he made, Allah fashioned al-Musawwir, the color of your skin, the shape of your teeth, the size of your teeth, the big beautiful eyes that you may have and possess, the hair, every feature of you. Allah fashioned you that way, so be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fa'alul lima yurid. Fa'alul lima yurid. He's the doer of that which he wills. Meaning he does what he wills is what he does. When he wants a thing to happen, kun fayakun. No one can stop it. This is your Lord. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So knowing these things, and we can go on and on and on. SubhanAllah. Just to know those things, as I'm sharing this with you today, just to get you reflecting, to get you to ponder, to build your faith on Tawheed, build your faith on Allah and how He describes Himself. And that helps you with every eventuality of life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafir al-Dambi. Ghafir al-Dambi wa Qabil al-Tawbi. Ghafir al-Dambi wa Qabil al-Tawbi. Allah is the forgiver of sins and the acceptor of repentance. So no matter what you go through, whatever your weaknesses are, always turn to Allah and ask Him to forgive you your sins and accept your tawbah. That's only one pillar. I said 6. I kind of got caught up. Talking about my Lord, or talking about our Lord, to remind you that we build the power of our faith on that foundation. Fa'lam annahu la ilaha illallah. Know that there's no God but Allah. So I advise you, I remind you, learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't take things for granted. I'm a Muslim, I'm born Muslim. I read about Allah, I heard the Imam mention Allah, and that's it. Go home and open up Quran and open up the Hadith and learn about your Lord. That's what you got to do. This is what we got to do. And the other 5, I'll continue. No problem. Time won't allow. We have to keep the Juma certain time. Alhamdulillah. We'll finish up next week. I think we have enough to reflect upon. And we have enough to teach our children. Those of you who have children, sit down with your children and talk about your Lord, talk about Allah. As they grow, they need to understand Who it is that they're standing before 5 times a day? You're teaching them how to pray. What are you praying to? Allah. Give them some lessons. You see, because they're going to have to deal with the challenges before them. Bottom line. You know, and they're going to be faced. So you want to instill in them a strong faith, a powerful faith, a faith that, alhamdulillah, will empower them to move forward with confidence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who they're worshiping, brothers and sisters. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to internalize, some of these things that we mentioned. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to grow in faith, grow in our iman, alhamdulillah, and to protect us, from our surroundings and the things, and make us grateful for what He has given us of Islam and the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who He is. And keep in mind, alhamdulillah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the strength and the courage and whatnot to share this knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with others. Share this knowledge of Allah with others. That's very important, alhamdulillah. That is a strengthener in itself. Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.